Power presentation number 2, delegation. What is parity of authority and responsibility? Parity is all things being equal. Having defined this, what does parity of authority and responsibility mean in an organization? This principle outlines the concept that authority and responsibility coexist and go hand in hand. When authority is delegated, it should commensurate with the responsibility of the subordinate, making it clear exactly what is expected of him. There should be a proper balance between the authority and the responsibility of the subordinate's duties. This is manifested in the delegation of authority, which focuses on authorization, responsibility, and accountability. It may be full or partial, depending on the supervisor's depending on how the supervisor grants his team members for making decisions and taking action. By implementing this principle, a manager may ensure parity between components, thus encouraging efficiency. I'm going to explain 2 examples of a lack of parity in the theater. A good example of a lack of parity in the theater is when a director of a play crosses over into the lane of the marketing department, and he tells the marketing director how to handle advertising and ticket sales. The marketing manager was hired by the director of the theater to promote the theater as an expert, but the director tells the marketing manager, how to do his job. Another example of a lack of parity in the theater is when a marketing manager's team goes over the marketing manager's head and directly to the supervisor, presents an idea without consulting the marketing manager. So those are examples of lack of parity in the theater. Now, let's continue with what are some do's and don'ts of delegation? Well, one thing, you start small when you're delegating. So, when you start small, you delegate small tasks before giving bigger projects in order to identify your team's skills and strengths. Don't give big projects, your biggest projects, to someone who has never done something of that magnitude before. It sets him up for failure. Next, define how you measure success. Meet with your team to explain how you plan to evaluate their success. Meet weekly and require updates that are given to them with clear expectations. Don't give your employees work without establishing a deadline or milestones. When you delegate based on skills, evaluate your employees and assign tasks based upon skills and expertise. Don't give skill or a task to someone just because they have the least amount of work. Next, balance the delegation. Do make an effort to spread the workload fairly to help keep the motivation and the focus of your team. Make sure to avoid overloading your highest performing employees. Provide clear instruction. Make sure you give definite instruction. What may seem easy to you may not be so obvious to your employees. Don't expect someone to know how to do something without you taking time to teach them. Rank projects and tasks in order of importance. Don't expect your team to know how to do something without giving them details and how to achieve their goal. Take time to teach. Expect to spend time teaching your employees how to perform given tasks. And don't neglect to provide support of your team when questions are asked. Now, show trust in your team. Allow your team to complete their task without you hovering over them. But don't be a micromanager in the office. Allow your team to work unsupervised. Encourage feedback. Let your employees know you welcome feedback and you offer encouragement and also give constructive feedback. Don't allow your employees to, don't neglect your employees or discourage communication. Explain why each task matters. Do sit down with your team and explain how their roles help the company to achieve their goals and explain why they were chosen for each specific task. Don't expect your people to be eager to do more work if they don't understand what they're getting into. All right, now we're going to talk about what is meant by centralization and decentralization. Below is a listing of the characteristics of a centralized organization. A centralized organization is a single authority where a single authority holds all power. All decisions are made unilaterally. All actions require an authorization from one single power, and if the central authority fails, the entire structure fails. Next, we're going to talk about decentralized organization. The power is concentrated collectively. The procedures of each instant are independent. Authorization varies from one instant to the other instant, and the model can fail if there is no collective preparation. Thank you.